Here are 25 things GTA Online players used to get up to in 2013. And if you've never done any of these, then you're just not an OG player. If you say you drive past these yellow things without hitting them, then you're lying, because I know for a fact that everyone runs them over. Back in 2013, the best legit way to get rich was grinding Rooftop Rumble. You'd spend hours delivering packages to Madrazo just so you could afford to live here and drive this car. This won't make sense to any of the new players with your fancy flying bikes, but the OGs will remember the good old days where we had to take this jump just to get into Fort Zancudo to be able to steal a jet, only to be blown up. When your vehicle would end up at the impound, you could pay a small fee and get it out, but you thought you were better than that and you had to jump the fence and break it out. You know you're really bored in GTA when you start to follow the road rules by driving the speed limit and stopping at red lights. We've all done it, but we all know it doesn't last that long because soon you're back to racing through the city and crashing into everyone. Speaking of crashing into everyone, you have definitely come down to Vespucci Beach or wherever there's a huge crowd really, and just ran them over for the fun of it. If you weren't doing missions, you were holding up stores trying to make money that way. You'd even try to see how many stores you could hit before dying. You probably even screamed into your mic trying to make them pack the money quicker. We've all been there.
Put the money in my ass! Oh shit!
Now you've got all this money, but you've got nothing to spend it on. So you steal random cars off the streets from NPCs just for you to customize for absolutely no reason. You don't even want to keep the car, so you just end up destroying it anyways. You know when you're driving up to Paleto Bay and you get up to this corner? Yeah, that corner. By the time you realize it's too late and you go flying off the edge every single time. Remember when the biggest threat in GTA wasn't the orbital cannon or the oppressors, it was actually the tank before it got nerfed. People from all over the map would head to the city and try and stop it. It was the only time you would see random players working together. We've all hopped on the train before for one of these three reasons. Number 1, you're trying to survive a bounty. Number 2, you've just started a huge police chase and just want to cause havoc. Or number 3, you just want to go AFK. Before we got all these free mode activities like businesses and all that, people actually used to enjoy the smaller things. And that was playing golf or playing tennis or going to watch a movie. Things were simpler back then. Or maybe it was because there was nothing else to do, I guess. When you needed a helicopter, you weren't able to just spawn one in through your CEO. We didn't have that. Back then, you had to call Merryweather and request a pickup. But you weren't about to just sit in the back and let him take you to where you're going like a normal person. You shot him in the face and stole his helicopter. Whether you're being hunted by players or simply trying to lose your wanted level, there was one place you could go and hide, and that was the sewers. Alright, you've died in the middle of nowhere and your mechanic doesn't want to bring you your vehicle. Instead of running to the nearest road, you just repeatedly kill yourself until you spawn close to the road, just so you can call your car. We all know what this sound means, and it has to be the most terrifying sound in GTA Online. You know this corner is bad, but this corner has to be the worst. Every time you're on the way to the airport and you take this bend, you'll find yourself at the bottom of the bridge because you refuse to use your brakes. Alright, if you've managed to make it past that corner, then you would recognize this jump. We've all tried it, and yeah, we've all hit that car. But if somehow you make it past the corner of death and avoid that car, then you've got one thing left to do. You just need to drive over that ramp and you're into the airport. But no, you make the slightest mistake possible and clip the corner. But you don't just give up and go through the gate, no. You're gonna go all the way back and try it again. Only to get the same result. Now that you're inside, the airport's only good for a few things, and that's racing your friends without having to worry about traffic or testing out how fast your new car can go. The other good thing about the airport is being able to steal planes, not to just fly them across the map, but to try and land on the top of Maze Bank. Driving up Mount Chiliad is just too easy, so you try and make it harder by doing it in a truck with a trailer on the back, only to make it most of the way up before you start to slide down. And if you do manage to make it up in a truck or any vehicle, the only logical way to get down is to send it off the edge and hope for the best. The goal for me was to try and damage my car as much as I could without blowing it up. We've all been to the shoe store, right? Well, at least that's what I thought it was when I first went there. That's when I discovered my favorite place in Los Santos. And of course, as soon as I went inside, my mum had to walk into my room and caught me out for being a very naughty boy. And while we're here, we didn't have the valet guy from the casino back then, so the bouncer out the front would be our punching bag for every single time we visited. Now this could just be me, but when I first started GTA Online, I thought the only way to deposit your money was to find an ATM, and I would get so annoyed that they weren't showing up on the map. I actually Googled where they were, only to realize you could do it on your phone. And if you haven't went through at least half of these things, then you're just not an OG player and you've really missed out on the good old days.